If you have been watching other videos on the graduate school website, welcome back. I am Dr. Annette Cluck and I am the Dean of the Graduate School here at the University of Mississippi. In this video, I'm going to be talking about policies that govern graduate education at the University of Mississippi. First, as we think about policies, I encourage you to bookmark our homepage. The link is provided at the top of this slide, www.gradschool.olemiss.edu/home. Our website contains links to multiple resources on campus, describes policies that govern graduate education, and contains other information that you're likely to find helpful during your graduate studies here at the University of Mississippi. Our website talks about different types of admission. Many students are admitted as fully admitted students. These students typically have completed their undergraduate degree with a high GPA and relevant coursework in their discipline. Other admission categories may include conditionally admitted, qualifying, and non-degree seeking students. These categories may include limits on access to particular types of financial aid, as well as the number of credits that can count towards a degree, and time limits on how long a student can hold that admission status. I encourage you to check out our website for more details if you are on a conditionally admitted, qualifying, or a non-degree seeking status. The graduate school and program set degree requirements. The program degree requirements are usually found on the program web pages and in program handbooks. Please consult those to understand the specific program degree requirements. In addition to degree requirements set by programs, the graduate school also has degree requirements. You should review the graduate catalog and the graduate school website to understand the degree requirements. You may also want to consult the University Policy Directory. The website is listed here. The Policy Directory contains the official policies of the university and is updated at least annually. Don't forget to attend to graduate school deadlines in the academic calendar, which contains things like drop dates and other important details related to each academic term. The graduate school deadlines include things like the deadline for the GS Form 8, which is needed to graduate. I encourage you to check the academic calendar every semester and be sure to check the graduate school deadlines for semesters in which you're nearing your graduation. The graduate school staff are always here to help, so please do consult with us and reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. The best way to reach us is to email gschool@olemiss.edu. This table outlines the minimum degree requirements for the degrees offered here in the graduate school. You will note that different degrees have different minimum requirements. In addition, programs can add to these requirements. For example, although the graduate school only requires 30 hours for a Master of Art degree, a particular program may set their minimum at 36 hours. You should check the individual program website to learn more about the program-specific minimum requirements. I encourage you to review this table carefully to identify the minimum requirements from the graduate school for the degree that you will pursue here at the University of Mississippi. I also want to specifically call your attention towards the enrollment criteria for doctoral students. After a graduate student who's in a doctoral program enters candidacy, they must be enrolled in 2 out of every 3 semesters within a given year. If not, they will receive a bill to account for the time for which they were not enrolled. I encourage you to pause the video here so that you can review the table and better understand the minimum requirements for the degree that you will pursue during your time here at the University of Mississippi. The graduate school sets a number of academic standards, one of which is a minimum of 3.0 as the GPA. So in the curriculum that is counted towards the degree, a student must earn a 3.0 before they will be allowed to graduate with the degree. The GPA is also examined each term, and a 3.0 is required to remain in good academic standing each term. Grades of A to C count for graduate credit, while those of C- and below do not count. However, some programs may set more restrictive policies, even requiring grades of B or better. The graduate school limits the ability of students to repeat courses if they earn a course grade that does not qualify for the graduate school or program degree requirements. all courses remain on the transcript. Up to 2 courses can be repeated, although some courses may not be repeatable, and no course can be retaken more than once. The grade from the second attempt is what we include in the GPA when we consider the student as to whether or not they've met the requirements for graduation. There are various policies that govern enrollment and terms for graduate students. Part-time status is identified as being enrolled in fewer than 9 hours of graduate credit. Full-time status involves 9 to 15 hours of graduate credit during the fall and spring term. Additional tuition rates may apply if a student enrolls in more than 13 hours. Continuous enrollment, which I mentioned previously, requires that a student be enrolled for 3 hours per term post-entrance to candidacy. In the final semester of graduation, the student must be enrolled in 3 credit hours during a fall or spring term and 1 credit hour if they graduate in a summer term. In all cases, class attendance must be verified if a student wishes to have access to federal aid, and this includes thesis and dissertation hours. For students without verified attendance, they will receive notice and they may not be eligible for financial aid. Although not a policy, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about money, which should get you super excited. The graduate school offers a number of ways and mechanisms to support graduate student research and related endeavors. We have travel grants that provide funds once a year for a graduate student to present research at professional meetings. The exact amount depends upon department support and availability of funds. Recently, we were able to offer thesis and dissertation grants as well, with the support of the Office of the Provost. These particular funds are meant for students in programs where it's uncommon for the advisor's lab to support the graduate student's thesis or dissertation research, but in which the student often has expenses related to the research. They are specifically meant for thesis or dissertation research. Our summer research assistantships, which require departmental nomination, provide a small stipend for students working on research over the summer. And our dissertation fellowships, also requiring departmental nomination, provide funds for the student to work on their dissertation for 1 term so that they do not have to engage in other duties. It is the expectation that the graduate student will graduate at the end of that term. Graduate assistantships are the #1 way that graduate students fund their graduate education. Here at the University of Mississippi, we have several different types of graduate assistantships, including a research assistantship, a teaching assistantship, and a general assistantship, sometimes called a graduate service assistantship. We also have a graduate instructorship, which is when the graduate student is the instructor of record for a course. This particular assistantship requires a minimum of 18 hours of graduate coursework in the discipline prior to eligibility. All graduate assistantships require academic excellence and relevant experience. They are not guaranteed, and students in online programs are not eligible. The table on this slide describes the hours, compensation, tuition support, and other information for quarter-time, half-time, and 3/4-time graduate assistantships. It's important to note that the compensation listed here is the minimum required, and many departments may pay more. The tuition support is a partial tuition scholarship for quarter-time assistants, and for half-time and 3/4-time graduate assistants, there is a 100% tuition scholarship, sometimes referred to as a tuition waiver. It's important to note that all graduate assistantships require the student be enrolled in between 9 and 13 hours of 500 level courses or above. If students enroll in more hours than 13, the assistantship will not provide tuition support for those additional hours. In addition, some disciplines may have additional discipline-based tuition that the graduate assistantship does not provide scholarship for. Finally, we're excited to be able to support some of the premiums for health insurance by providing a 35% for a quarter-time assistantship or 70% for half and 3/4-time assistantship subsidies to partially cover the cost of the insurance for our graduate assistants. It is important to know that tuition scholarships work a little bit differently during the summer. There are no automatic waivers for summer tuition, and it does not matter whether a person holds an assistantship. We do offer a thesis or dissertation scholarship during the summer. This tuition scholarship covers 3 to 6 hours of thesis or dissertation for standard summer sessions and does not provide funding for intersession. The scholarship is not automatic, and it does require the department to submit a nomination. It also requires that the graduate student be enrolled by the set deadline. Students will see a bill for a period of time, and they must accept the tuition scholarship for the scholarship to pay their tuition bill. This particular scholarship is only available to students who were enrolled for 9 hours in the spring term immediately preceding the summer term. Let's talk briefly about the roles and processes related to graduate assistantships. Graduate assistants are engaged in 2 critical roles. They are both students and employees here at the university, and these roles are complementary. The assistantships contribute to the graduate student's learning and should be related to the career goals and degree of the graduate student. Graduate assistants should not be asked to do things unrelated to their degree, such as personal favors for their supervisors. Graduate assistants are graduate students pursuing graduate degrees, and that is their first and most important priority. Because graduate assistants are also employees, they receive payment for providing a service. Both academic units and other offices on campus offer assistantships. Most assistantships from academic units will involve teaching or research. Other offices may have students engaged in a variety of roles, and these assistantships are often called graduate service assistantships or just graduate assistantships. For those other offices that are offering assistantships, the graduate school works hard to notify the campus via available channels about such opportunities. So it is encouraged that you follow the graduate school social media accounts and be sure to monitor your email for messages from the graduate school and from your graduate program coordinator about such opportunities. The hiring unit, whether it's a department or some other office on campus, has responsibilities. The supervisor provides information about the title, time commitment, length of employment or appointment, stipend level, evaluation procedures, duties, performance requirements, procedure for reappointment, schedule of work, and training or tests for graduate assistants. Regardless of the type of assistantship, all graduate assistants must complete the student worker paperwork as part of the appointment process. Please see the HR website for this form. The appointment process starts with the department or the unit that is hiring the graduate assistant. That unit has someone process the electronic forms to establish employment. The graduate school reviews these forms to ensure eligibility, to apply tuition support, to enroll the graduate assistant in health insurance, and forwards the form to HR if appropriate. After that happens, the student accepts awards. To do this, you'll go into My Ole Miss and click on the Financial Aid tab. It's on the Student tab page. Select the appropriate term and follow the directions. You can also call financial aid for help. It's really important that you accept the awards, otherwise the tuition scholarships that cover part of or all of the tuition when you hold a graduate assistantship will not be applied. There are a few other policies that govern graduate assistantships. First, there is a tutoring policy in which graduate assistants cannot accept payment as a tutor for students who are enrolled in a section of a course for which the graduate assistant is teaching or otherwise assigned, enrolled in other sections of a course when a common exam is used for all sections, or enrolled in a laboratory section of a course for which the graduate assistant has responsibilities. It does not matter whether the payment is from a student, another unit such as athletics, or an outside agency. And programs can set more stringent requirements. The important thing here is to avoid any real or perceived conflict of interest. Another policy for graduate assistants, particularly those involved in teaching, is a language proficiency policy. Graduate assistants who were required to submit scores from a language proficiency test at the time of application to graduate study may also be required to complete an evaluation of language proficiency for teaching, depending on those test scores. In some cases, if a student requires more support, there are a number of resources that will be made available for the student to ready them to engage in instruction. The university expects that certain things would happen prior to termination of a graduate assistantship. I encourage you to review the graduate school policies and the program handbook for policies related to termination of assistantships. One important policy to understand is that because graduate students are first and foremost students working on completing their degree, they must maintain a GPA of 3.0 or higher. Failure to do that can result in termination from the assistantship. Different units that hire graduate students are expected to make available to prospective and current graduate assistants their policies and performance expectations for continuing of funding and employment in the assistantship. We're not quite done talking about money yet. The next thing I want to touch on is our parental leave policy. This policy is designed to assist primary care providers, regardless of their gender identity, following the birth or adoption of a child. If both parents are graduate students, only one is eligible for paid leave. The paid leave is for 6 weeks. The student maintains registration and health insurance during this time. This also provides extension of graduate school and program time limits. This is available for full-time graduate students with 1/4 or 1/2 time graduate assistantships who have at least 2 full terms of full-time academic enrollment before the anticipated leave. Oftentimes, students are interested in additional financial support beyond a graduate assistantship. Loans are available. Please consult the financial aid webpage as well as our own. And some units hire graduate students as hourly employees. In this case, the student does not qualify for the tuition scholarship, which is sometimes called a tuition waiver, but they're still able to earn money to support them while they complete their graduate studies. Finally, welcome to the University of Mississippi. We're excited you're here. Again, please do not hesitate to contact the graduate school if you have questions or concerns. You can reach me at gschool@olemiss.edu.